fantasy implications. The AFC North. All right, so the Ravens, who I just talked about. If you got Lamar Jackson, I think you're pretty safe in this draft. Their draft, what they did, they went very offensive line, defensive line heavy. They traded away Hollywood Brown. They did not go up for a big time receiver. So what that tells me, the winners on this team are J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and Lamar Jackson. They're going to go run heavy. They like that run heavy offense, that pistol offense. Harbaugh is known for having a beautiful run scheme, and especially with a quarterback like Lamar. I think you should be happy drafting J.K. Dobbins a little later. I know people are going to, they're not going to be high on him because of his injury, and Gus Edwards is still there, and they really liked him. They just signed him. So I think that, but I think it's a nice fit for this offense. Another winner, I believe, is Rashad Bateman. He could be a deep sleeper to where he could win you some weeks. Last year he didn't play a full season, so I think you should expect, the targets to be there, but the touchdowns are probably not going to be there. They're going to be more run scheme. Mark Andrews, he's safe. I think even if you're a tight end in a run scheme offense or in a pass heavy offense, you're going to be all right. If you're a good tight end like Mark Andrews, you talk about Mark Andrews, Darren Waller, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, I think you'll be all right no matter what scheme you go to do it. So, but the big winners for the Ravens for me is Lamar Jackson, Gus Edwards, and J.K. Dobbins. So if you have a J.K. Dobbins and the person in your league is trying to trade for him, I think you should trade for him. I think J.K. Dobbins is good, and we just seen how people come back, young players come back from their injuries. You know what I'm saying? Cam Akers he did pretty well. That offense, they had 3 running backs, so don't be scared about the fantasy numbers. We're about to see how Travis Etienne comes back. There's news that saying that he's the guy, but we'll see what happens. So things will be looking up for J.K. Dobbins, I feel. If you have anybody who wants to trade for him, I think you should do it. I think you definitely should do it. But all right, now the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. Look, I've for the past few seasons, I've been in love with the Pittsburgh Steelers like fantasy value. I think that Pat Freiermuth is a great addition. A great addition from last season. He got a lot of looks in his belt. And this year, he's going to be one of the sleepers tight ends I think you should put your hands on. They picked up what's his name? Mitchell Trubisky. And then they just drafted Pickett. Is it Josh Pickett? Jeremy Pickett? I forget his name. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's a quarterback. And I think that the winners on this team are Dante Johnson and Najee Harris. They're going to be good fantasy value because, Dante Johnson, he can get it done. He's the type of player, it doesn't matter what quarterback is throwing to him. I think he can still get it done because of his size and how he is played on that offense. He gets most of the targets. He's a target hog, and he has fucking hands. I don't know why people don't think Dante Johnson has hands. I think he's the best receiver in that division, me personally. I know a lot of people are like, Jamar Chase, what the fuck? But I think that he is the best. He's the best receiver, pure receiver in that division. And they only got better. Even with Mitchell Trubisky going in, I thought that he was still going to be all right. You had the Mitchell Trubisky season with Allen Robinson, and he was always a top 15 wide receiver, and you need that in fantasy, that consistency, the targets, completions. I think it was going to be a little bit more, if not better than that with Mitchell Trubisky. Now you got a young quarterback who's going to come in the game, and the offense that he's in, I think it's pretty much perfect for him to be in. They fixed some offensive line stuff. They fixed some defensive stuff. Najee Harris is going to be safe. They didn't really go after a big running back. So if you're a Najee Harris manager, I am. I think it's going to be another similar season. But the touchdowns might go down. The touchdown looks will probably go down. But another year under his belt, he's a bad motherfucker. He has all the intangibles to be a solid number 1 in the league. And I think he's safe. Chase Claypool, I think he pretty much stays the same. There's no, he didn't go down or up. Of course, it's another season under his belt where he needs to actually prove that he could do it for fantasy managers. But big playability, big guy. He gets hurt a lot, but he still has that Mike Williams reputation. If he can turn it on, people believe in him enough. If he could turn it on, he's going to be a fucking fantasy winner. So if you like Chase Claypool late in the rounds, you didn't pick up Deontay, I think that Chase Claypool is nice, but later. So fantasy winners on this team, I think, are Pat Fryermuth, Dante Johnson, and Najee Harris because they're safe. So what do you guys think? Let me know. Now we have the Bengals. The Bengals coming off of a great season. They were hottest team in the NFL last season. They just pretty much got better. I think the people who are safe are Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. I think they are the safest. I know that they could pick up their tight end. Is it Hooper? I believe they picked up Hooper. I'm not sure, but the tight end, the position was right. Uzama was a touchdown maker for him. So I think that, the looks that went to Uzama is not going to go to the tight end this season, but you're safe because you have Jamar Chase, another year under his belt. Of course, the chemistry is there with Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is one of the biggest winners coming out of the draft because he just amplificates his gameplay. I think he's probably ends up maybe the best quarterback in that division, even with Deshaun Watson being there. But I think he's the safest play. Jamar Chase, like I said, T. Higgins is going to be nice. I think T. Higgins is a big sleeper. I said this season, I think I'm going to go after T. Higgins because people forgot about him. Before Jamar Chase was there, T. Higgins was the guy. He was getting all the touchdown reps. He was getting all the targets, all the third down reps. And, he's a big guy who can do it. He's still young, so he's familiar with the offense and Joe Burrow. And he got overshadowed last year by the rookie sensation, Jamar Chase. People are definitely going to be sleeping on him because he was injured a little bit last season. I'm going after T. Higgins everywhere. I think T. Higgins is a fantasy winner. He's the biggest winner here. Yes, if you can get Jamar Chase early, go get Jamar Chase early. This is not that campaign. I'm just saying, I think if you don't get Jamar Chase, you are still safe with T. Higgins. So fantasy winners on the Bengals is Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow. Joe Mixon is nice. I think he's still gonna have that powerhouse value. But people, they got the backlash from him. Last season was probably his best season, but he still has that stigma for me. If Joe Mixon is there in the later rounds where I can pick up a running back, where I need a running back, I would be happy with him, but I'm not going to be actively going for him. So he's not necessarily a winner, but not necessarily a loser either. So Bengals, they're going to be a fun team to watch next season. Very fun team. Last team I'm going to talk about is the Cleveland Browns. I think fantasy winners right now for the Browns are Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper and Kareem Hunt are the winners on this team. If Cooper can stay healthy all season, he's definitely one of the greatest assets to that team because of his veteran skills. He's still young. He's still not. People say he's an old veteran, but he's still got the young. He's still spry. I've seen it a few times last season, but he's that tactician that you want in your team to run those fucking short routes, in routes, fade routes. He could catch the ball. He's a big guy. I think he's the winner on this team, man. I'm definitely going to try to go after him in fantasy leagues. Will I be trading for him in Dynasty? I mean, I'll probably send an offer. It'll probably get declined. So if someone's offering you Amari Cooper, weigh it out. You ask me, who would I rather have, Amari Cooper or T. Higgins? I think I'll go Amari Cooper only because that he's the guy there. He's the number one there. So I'll go Amari Cooper. Kareem Hunt is one of the biggest winners here. Yes, I know people say, what about Nick Chubb? It's just, I think that with Deshaun Watson, the addition of Deshaun Watson, his ability to move out the pocket, extend the play, I think the dump offs are going to be there for Kareem Hunt because they use him as that satellite back. I think Nick Chubb is going to be cool. He's not going to have the best season like he did 2 seasons prior, but he'll be safe. But I think it's more of a downgrade for him. I think it's more of a loss for him with the addition of Deshaun Watson. But the touchdown value will still be there because they still want to, push that run team. So not to say that Nick Chubb's not going to be a top 20, but I don't think he's going to be like a top 5 running back. Maybe it'll be 18, 16 right there. We'll see what happens though, because I do think Kareem Hunt is a very, very big winner this time. So so who do you guys think is the best team overall in this division? The best team overall in this division has got to be the Bengals right now. Simply because of the chemistry, and they went to the Super Bowl last season, and they did nothing but win in the draft. So same team coming back, same formula. I think they're all right. Second place team, I think the Steelers can do it, but they still got to mold the quarterbacks in. Ravens, if they add Jarvis Landry, then I'll give it to them. I think that the Ravens are the best team with Jarvis Landry, but they don't have him right now, so I can't. And then I'll have Browns at the last. You're still gonna be out with Deshaun Watson for a few games. It's gonna be a new type of offense, so things are not gonna be clicking as well. But so yeah, I'll say the best team right there is the Cincinnati Bengals, and